Guys, when I thought I was done, the car was painted, it was in a fire, brought it back to life, everything's good. Something else decides to fail. Why?
Oh no, this can't be.
The motor is done. It's done. It's been through hyperdrive, it's been through multiple donuts, burnouts, races, drag racing, everything, and this motor finally says I'm done. I think it's the rings or head gasket or something, but doesn't want to start anymore. So figured it's time now for, going from a 4.8 now to a 6 liter. It's gonna be a lot more power, a lot more sturdier. It's done. Let's see, for good measures, let's see if it can start. Moment of silence. Do, 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 do. Yeah, that'll do it. So I think it's time. It did what it could, but out with that and in with the 6 liter. So. Guys, here is a little bit of an update. We already removed the turbocharger. We're gonna take off the crossover pipe here. We removed a couple of things up here, the intake pipe, charge pipe on the intercooler. We're gonna probably have to remove the radiator, obviously, get this out of here, and that'll give us some more clearance so when we separate the motor, it can come forward so we can pull the whole thing out. Luis says that tonight he'll be having full service.
The night. I didn't say tonight. The night.
One night.
The night.
One of these nights. The night after. The night of one of these nights. There you go, guys. That's how we do it. The nights after these nights. Alright guys, the day has come where we're going to be pulling the motor out of the 240Z. We got our hoist ready. I'm going to grab some chains so we can lock it onto the heads, and we're going to pull this puppy out. Round 2.
Fight!
Alright guys, while we let that drain away, we're going to get ready to go ahead and move all the accessories off the motor. Got the headers, got the valve covers, intake manifold, all the front accessory drive here. Here's the other motor, we got it all sanded up. Comes with like a factory primer that it has on it, but we're going to go ahead and paint it silver. So we're going to get that prepped out, sanded, masked up, and we'll shoot that. We'll start taking off the accessories here shortly.
So when you're getting the headers off on this side, you want to make sure that you are taking off your oil dipstick first, complete. Alright guys, so the new oil pan is a bit taller than the other one. I'm going to have to switch it out because it's going to give us about a ½ inch clearance, which doesn't even take into account for the weight of the motor, which will bring the suspension down as well. So I'm going to put that back on the jack stand, push the orange car out for a bit, and get back to work.
Wanted to update you also on the engine bay. We're gonna go ahead and just clean her up, you know, body work, get everything nice and smooth, re-primer the whole engine bay, prep it out, and paint it body color. It's gonna look so much better, guys. Wanted to show you guys the progress. We already went ahead and you can see the original color of this is the original yellow that the Datsuns came, you know. So we're doing body work. I had to fix some stuff there. We're gonna seam seal all the seams on the towers, make that all clean, and firewall, clean that up. Go ahead and primer everything, and then from there we can start prepping everything out. Mask it, shoot everything. Body color is gonna look so much nice. This thing haven't seen because it was just buried under there. The VIN number stamped on there. Also found, I think I'll show you guys, the VIN number was stamped here, but the headers were right here, so it was just like baking that on there. So it's looking really good. Hopefully we get this into primer soon, within the next day or so, and then from there basically get her painted. Then from there do the final assembly, which we got on the final assembly. Pretty much is, as you saw, the motor there, pretty much everything, headers, all that stuff. But what we're gonna have to do is put it back on the cherry picker, or we would say the engine hoist, so we can hang it, so we can put the flywheel and the clutch and all that stuff on there as well, so that it's ready. And then from there be ready to drop in. So now we have to be very careful when we drop this thing in, because it's going to be all nice and painted. We'll see you guys mañana. I'm going to show you guys the update on the engine bay. We did all the body work, primed it. We still have to kind of sand through everything and do some more prep on it. I wanted to show you guys that work. Got the whole front end, took everything apart, the front intercooler, radiator, all that, body worked, everything, primed it in epoxy primer. We still have to prep and then go over some of the seams to make it right, but the main reason why we use epoxy primer is that it can withstand heat. Anything, you know, it's epoxy, so everything being so hot in that engine bay, that's what we wanted to put in there in the engine bay, so that it can resist the heat. Obviously headers, a turbo, everything's real compact and gets really hot. Being it's right there, obviously we're going to paint it the color of the car. It's going to be nice, so we want the best of the best in there, so that when we drop the engine, it can sustain the heat and tolerate a little bit more than your normal, you know, normal primer that can be withheld in there. So yeah, that's the next step. We're going to start prepping that out, kind of fix any little imperfections we have in there before we shoot it. And the last thing that we have is on this LS3 is putting on the headers. So header gaskets, because the header gaskets have to be a little bit thicker. It can't be your normal manifold gaskets, because they're a lot thinner. They're different. So headers are here. I'm gonna put this side on, slide the header gasket in there, and tighten it up. Two little ears. So with the normal manifold gasket, you have to put all the bolts in between these like that and then set it in. But with header gaskets, it comes with these, so you can just slide the two bolts on either end and then slide the header gasket into place and tighten it up. Guys, so I got the headers all bolted up, snugged up. So pretty much, motor is pretty much ready to go back in. Obviously, you have to tighten up the tensioner, get that in, finish bolting up the alternator, but those are small stuff. The motor's complete. It's ready to go back in to the car. So this is done. Everything looks nice. I'm gonna kind of go over everything, make sure everything's good. Do the final checklist on it. As you guys saw, the engine bay is pretty much ready. We're gonna do some more body work, kind of prep it out. We did the primer on it. So that'll conclude today's video of part 1 Datsun rebuild. We will be back on the next video with prepping of the engine bay, dropping in the motor, painting it, getting it all ready. So I want to thank you guys so much for your guys' support. Make sure you guys hit that notification button for the new and up-to-date videos, and make sure you guys stay tuned for the rest of this year's videos that are coming up. Check out our merchandise also. It'll be on the link below, so you guys can check that out. Here at SOS Customz, we got you covered. Peace.